Well, hello. My regular listeners will know that I'm very interested in all kinds of what are unfairly known as alternative therapies. But I've come across something recently which is fascinating. It's a diagnostic tool more than a therapy, and it's called Iridology. So two of my friends are heavily involved in this, and they run a company called Planet Wellness, which I think gives you a fair feel for what it's all about. And as you know, I am very keen on good diet and treating the whole body. So let me hand over to my two guests, who are called Petrina and Ronald Delary-Simpson. Have I said that right?
Yes.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Ronald has got years and years of experience in nutrition. He developed his interest aged about 14. And Ronald is very nearly 76, although you wouldn't think that to look at him. And he tells me that he feels 45.
Exactly.
And Petrina and he met about 10 years ago. She's always interested in health and nutrition, but she has learned all about iridology. And so this is what the two of them practice. So it's truly fascinating. There is all sorts of information to learn. So let me ask you, Ronald, what is iridology?
Iridology, it actually derived from the word iris. That's IRIS, right? Now, in the eye, when you look at somebody's eyes, right, you've got different colors. So basically, you've got brown, you've got blue, you've got hazel, you've got dark brown, you've got black. These are different colors in the eyes, right? And so apparently, iris comes from the old Egyptian, meaning rainbow. And I've seen the research which indicated that the very ancient Egyptians, some of them had purple eyes, right? But for some reason, that particular line of the Egyptians died off. See, because you see, our eyes come from our forefathers and forefathers and forefathers and forefathers, right? Now, what's also fascinating is that in the world of eyes or irises, 3% of the world population got blue eyes. 3% only has got blue eyes. And that's the Norwegians, the Finns, the Alaskans, the Northerners. They live in the cold countries. They have blue eyes. And apparently they came from the same ancestor. Amazing, isn't it? Right?
But how can we use this information about the eye to diagnose health issues?
Well, what happened is that first of all, I need to explain that there's a genetic tendency. If somebody's got blue eyes, their genetic tendency is to have problems with their lymphatic system. Okay. And if you've got brown eye, they have a tendency to have a liver problem. If you've got hazel eyes, they have a tendency to have liver and lymphatic system problems. All right. So now in the eyes, all right, there's about 80 fibers in the eyes, right? What's fascinating, that's what I've never been a skeptical person, because that's you close the door now. I've been a logical person. My dad was all engineers. We think logically, right? I discovered quite a long time ago, about 1976, that in the human body, 28,000 signals comes from your spine, the nerves in your spine, and feeds to the optic nerve into your eyes. 28,000 signals every single day, right? And those signals mark the eyes a certain way. And then we can look at when you take the photographs, we're the only ones in the world that do that. We do 5 photos of each eye. So we're looking straight, left, right, up and down. And then we can analyze the entire iris, which is the colored part of the eye, and the sclera, which is the whites of the eyes. Now, by using those two organs, okay, we can tell exactly the level of toxicity, the level of stress on your lungs, your kidneys, your liver, your thyroid, and so on and so on and so on. It's an incredible sign. We can even see pain in your back from the cervical area to the thoracic area, to the lumbar area. We can see pain in your legs. We can see circulation problems. We can see the toxicity in the colon. It's all in the eyes. Amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing. And what other professions are aware even that iridology exists?
I'd say the medical profession is so far beyond on this. It's scary, right? And the amazing part is, if you went to a doctor about 40 years ago, he would look in your eyes. He would look in your eyes. He would look in your tongue. He would look in your ears, right? But today they don't do that. Now, why did they do it back then? Because back then they were allowed to do it, and they did it. Now it's all been streamlined.
4 years ago?
40 years ago.
30, 40.
40, that makes more sense. Yeah.
30, 40 years ago. They were doing, they look at someone's eyes and they could actually see things in the eyes. But where we're so much more advanced, we've engineered people that given us the best cameras in the world for the eyes, right? Now imagine a Big Mac computer. We can take the iris, which is about that big, and we can expand that to the size of the screen, 15-inch screen. And with that, we can see an incredible detail in the eyes, right? And within about 20 minutes of photographs, we can diagnose what problems, stress levels. We can see stress rings, contraction furrows, like I said, toxicity, lung problems, bronchial problems, fever. We can see all of that in the eye. And then we use that to then recommend what to eat, what to drink.
We've also come across certain chiropractors, the more modern ones, who actually are aware of this science as well, the iridology, and they actually use it. And in fact, Ronald has a story. That's how he actually got involved in iridology as well.
Exactly.
He injured his back years ago. He went to a chiropractor, and before the chiropractor actually looked at his back or adjusted his back, he actually did iridology on Ronald.
Yes.
In those days.
Yes.
So Ronald went to a chiropractor for a back issue.
That's right. Yes. What happened? I'd work with the special forces and infantry in Vietnam, carrying big packs up to about 80 pounds, right, with water bottles on top of it. And I was very, very strong. I built myself strongly. But what happened at the age of 30, the amount of luggage I was carrying on my back earlier, like I started playing in the coccyx area, in the lower lumbar. Right. And so I heard about this chiropractor called Tony Human, right? That was his name, Tony Human. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm going to tell you, this is fascinating. So I went to him and I thought, well, he's going to palpate my back. He's going to check my back from the top to bottom, and then he's going to adjust me. To my amazement, he said, sit down on the couch. So I said, don't lie down, sit down. So I sit down, and he gets his torch out and he looked in my eyes, right? And he kept going back and forth to this drawer. In the drawer, he had a chart. Okay, just show them the chart.
It's called an iridology
chart like that. See?
Oh, yes.
Like that. Okay. Now, the chart he had was black and white. Okay, but I didn't know that he was looking at the chart.
And the back area is
the back. Yeah.
In the chart over here.
Yeah. Can you see?
I see.
Yeah. So anyway, he was looking at the chart, but I didn't know it was a chart at the time. Like he opened the door and kept looking, 5 minutes in each eye. And then to my amazement, I said to myself, hang on, the back is from the neck area here, and goes all the way down. There's 24 vertebrae. He went straight to my lower back, straight there. I went, wow, how did you know that? So anyway, I let him, and then he went there and he adjusted, right? And then at the end of it, I said to him, Tony, I said, you're a chiropractor. What are you doing looking in my eyes? He said, iridology. And I went, what is that? He said, I can look in the iris, and it's clearer, and I can tell where your back is out.
Right. Yeah, because that's the point. We often suffer referred pain, don't we? So the actual source of the pain isn't what we think it is.
Correct. And for example, I learned through him and other people in the cervical area, which is the top, the top 7 vertebrae, the neck part, C3, which is cervical 3, that is when that vertebra is out, that will affect your vision.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? So you see, so if someone's got eye problems, whether it's a kid, adult, or whatever, you go to the chiropractor, you check the eyes first, you see the problem in that area, C3, and then you refer to a chiropractor, they adjust the neck, and guess what? Sometimes within weeks, the vision reappears. Just by an adjustment, but picking up first that the C3 is out. That's how you pick it up. Amazing, isn't it? So I've got people off glasses through that, off glasses, by adjusting the C3. And once you adjust the C3, that's the nerve supply. See, once it's like a nerve supply, the C3 is there. Imagine it's pinched now. That is then blocking the optic nerve and causing vision problems.
And these people don't even realize that they've got
they don't. And I'll tell you even more fascinating. sometimes when babies are born, the midwife or the doctor might be a bit brutal, and they grab hold of their neck and pull them out too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, they actually turn the C3 off. They squeeze it too hard. And then the baby's born with the C3 already dislocated, right? And it could be 3 years, 4 years later, and all of a sudden you see the eyes turn. They turn inside the wrong way. And they go, all right, go to the optometrist.
Which is called a squint, right?
Yeah, a squint. And then that's caused because at the time of birth, the vertebrae, the C3 vertebrae were twisted the wrong way. It might have been at 2 millimeters. And that's enough to block the actual optic nerve supply. Bang, here the eye's gone. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
It's fascinating. And you've got an interesting story about migraines.
Yes, migraines.
Oh, yes.
Migraines, about I think it was 5 years ago now.
Yes.
We helped a young nurse. She was about 23 at the time. She had been suffering from migraines, very severe migraines for about 10 years,
Yes.
over 10 years, to the extent that she could not work at all. She would always be calling on for sick leave because it was so bad. It was just affecting her concentration and her physical performance itself. So she went to various so-called top surgeons and top specialists in 3 countries, UK, France, and Belgium. And they all said she had a tumor in her brain and they wanted to operate. Now, she was a recovery nurse and still is a recovery nurse. And she knew that she didn't want to be on the patient side of the recovery. She was a nurse looking after people. So they knew. So fortunately, her dad knew of us. And her dad said, as a last resort, come and see Ronald and Petrina. So she did.
Last resort. Thank you very much.
Last resort, exactly.
Yeah, to avoid surgery, right?
Yeah.
So as a last resort, she came to see us. And we actually saw that the so-called tumor that all the specialists were seeing through the x-rays was actually toxicity, severe toxicity in her brain area.
Yeah.
Why? From eating a lot of fast food, processed foods, because she was working long hours, late. She'd be too tired or too exhausted to actually cook or prepare a meal properly.
Or salad or whatever.
So she would actually go to the fast foods and eat a lot of that.
Yes.
And all that over the years built up the toxicity.
Yes.
So without recommendations, she was able to get rid of her migraines completely over a couple of months following our recommendations.
Her father was a very smart royal photographer. That's what he did, photographs of the royals, and he met us on the TV station. And then he said, so you've been to all these doctors in Belgium and so on, and they all said, we're going to drill into your brain to get rid of the tumor. And what had happened, the rubbish, the junk, the chemicals from all this fast food had penetrated to the blood-brain barrier here and had deposited just above the palate. And it was like a murky brown color right there in that spot in the eye. And so we thought, hang on, we'd ask what she'd been eating. We said, hang on, it's a buildup of chemicals from the food. And the sugar levels as well. So, and she was smart. She was a recovery nurse. She'd seen the damage done by wrong operations, right? And she said, I don't want to get my brain drilled. So within 6 weeks of her treatment, the migraines completely disappeared. And she's never been sick since, never. Yeah.
Amazing. Right. You're going to have a lot of people who want to get in touch with you. So in the show notes, I will put your contact details. Would you just like to say it out loud?
Yes.
It's hello. If you can send us an email at hello, HELLO, at planetwellness.co.uk.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's excellent. Thank you. And you do consultation calls as well, don't you?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
I'll put the link in the show notes. That's a schedule a call sort of link.
Yes.
Yeah. And something I should have said as I was introducing you, you won the Implementer of the Year and the Female Entrepreneur of the Year, Christmas last.
Yes, we did.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're especially proud of the one which was the Implementer of the Year because, we totally recommend solutions for those who actually see us. And we know that implementation is really the key to actually getting to the results.
Yes.
So we're actually also walking the walk and, talking the talk as well. in terms of winning, because we know that when we implement, we actually achieve results.
Yes.
And likewise, those who come and see us, those who have a conversation with us, they will actually also get results, not only from our guidance, but they need to actually do their part as well. And that's really important.
Yeah.
As with anything, yes. Yeah.
If I can just add something really, really extremely powerful, right? For 8 years, right? We've got a corner block, right, in like South Chigwell and Ilford and so on. We've got a corner block. It's got quite a bit of land there. I managed to put 28 fruit trees in there, 48 vegetables, 48 herbs, medicinal herbs, and 16 vegetables, right? So I grow lettuces for patients. Our lettuce is so strongly organic. When you pick the lettuce, milk comes out of the leaf, right?
Yes.
Milk. And that milk is a medicine for the body. You see, when you take a lettuce from the supermarket, it might be 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks in organic. It's brown already. Our lettuces are like you within 5 minutes of taking it, it's all known. So we bring that, we actually teach patients how to grow their own food from our garden here.
And that's particularly relevant in these times,
yes,
when
yes.
we're being threatened with food shortages and all the rest of it. Yes.
Exactly. And I will share a very powerful comment. I was taught by Peter Bennett, who was one of the biggest, well-known organic gardeners in the world, right? He did broad acres as well as small holdings. Peter was an Englishman, and I met him in Adelaide, and I was so fascinated by what he taught me about organic gardening. He said to me, we were talking 1986 or something, and you know what he said to me? He said, Ronald, let me tell you something. He said, you're clever. He said, you come here every Wednesday night to the course. Every Saturday you come and work with me. He said, I'm going to tell you something. One day, not too distant future, you'll be guarding your garden with a shotgun. He was talking about food shortages. He said that to me 30 odd years ago.
Wow.
He said, you'll be guarding your garden with a shotgun. And I can see that happening.
I can too. I can.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yes.
I think it's time that we wound up.
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
And I just want to say all relevant information can be found in the show notes.
Yes.
And I recommend to people that they take a look at Planet Wellness on YouTube, because there is a wealth of information there about almost every food you can think of and the benefits of it.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's probably a good place to leave it. And I think you guys are going to have to come back sometime, because I know we've just scratched the surface.
Yep, absolutely. This is the tip of the iceberg.
So many thanks.
Thank you so much, Anne. Really appreciate your input.